Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Between the Thin Blue Line. I am Juan Cloy, and I am waiting on my co-host, Ernest Perry. He's trying to get on now, so please be patient with us. Bear with us. If you're having issues hearing us, please let me know. If I'm too loud, please let me know. If I'm just right, heck, please let me know. Once again, I want to thank everybody who tunes in to us, whether you're tuning into us live, because this is recorded live. This is not a recorded podcast. So everything that you see happening with us, that it is 100% live and in living color. Um, Today we're going to talk about, obviously, there's a lot we can talk about every Sunday. So much we can talk about across this country in this state. But we're just going to talk about right now, focus on the sheriff and the constable races. As you may or may not know, I am running for Constable District 5, which, if you didn't know, includes all of Terry, Mississippi, all of the southern part of Hinds County, Chapel Hill Road, Dry Grove Road area, parts of Spring Ridge Road, and the eastern side or half of Utica. It's like they almost split Utica in half somewhat. And then we go down Terry Road. So if we left Terry, we go down Terry Road from Terry, Mississippi, all the way straight back north towards Jackson on each side, pretty much all the way down to Jackson State is all District 5, Washington Edition area, Jackson State area, Battlefield area, Lanier High School area, Provine High School area, Arbor Vista, Alta Vista, Harriet Street, and so forth and so on. So we've got quite a lot of territory. And I don't know, I might be going solo here. Ernest just sent me a text saying he can't get on. So I'll see if we can't fix this remotely. So y'all gonna have to bear with me. So Ernest was gonna talk about his pick for sheriff and why. And I'm gonna talk about my pick for constable and why. And for various reasons, but there's an unspoken rule, so to speak, that if you're running for office, technically running at that particular time, you really don't endorse a candidate publicly. So I'm not going to tell you who I'm recommending for a sheriff out on the airwaves. If you want to call me or whatever, I'd be glad to tell you. But right now, I'm going to keep that to myself. But again, I'd like for you all to definitely support me for the constable. It's been a long, long, hard road. Definitely something I'm not used to. Some politicians are really used to this, and I had to realize that I am a politician, and I am running for public office, and that means that I can't say certain things, shouldn't say certain things, and should say certain things. So this race has been an adventure for me, just to be quiet. I've been telling people I've been practicing abstinence of the mouth, which is good to practice anyway, I guess. Most of you all know me as someone who's is supposedly a straight shooter, and I know how to keep my mouth shut as well. So I am not going to tell you who I'm supporting um, for sheriff. You should make up your own mind and have your own educated decision. I will tell you to educate yourself. Thank you, KJ. I appreciate that. I'll tell you to educate yourself. Educate, educate, educate. Um, what's going on, Derek? Some old JPD folks. Guys, we've had so many good officers work for JPD. I want to tell you that. And there's so many officers that have left. It will boggle your senses the number of officers who have left JPD that were really, really good officers. It's sad. It's a travesty. Not to say that we don't have good officers now, but I can tell you a lot of these officers that we had were really good officers, and they took the job to heart. I'm not going to start back talking about JPD like we did several months ago, but I can tell you, I'm treated as a civilian most of the time. I don't tell most people that I used to work for JPD, especially when I'm dealing with dispatch officers. Now I see what you all uh, uh, were going through um, as citizens, and it's different for a law enforcement officer, especially that lives in that particular city. But when I call dispatch as a zebra 4 or Victor 7, my narcotic sign or whatever, then you get a different response than when I could just call as Juan Cloyd or Anthony Heath or Karen James or Derek Roy. That's a different response. And so Joe Citizen gets a different response. And now I'm Joe Citizen of sorts to a lot of the people up there in the dispatch center and on the streets. Not all of them, but a lot of people. And so now I see kind of what people have been saying for all these years, although that myself and a lot of my coworkers, that was Anthony Heath, he was saying my name over his intercom. He saw me earlier today. I was out campaigning. Um, and so it's a different response for you guys. And so again, I'm going to say this, and because I heard this today, and you guys can take it. You guys can please chime in and tell me what you think about this statement. And it struck me. It really struck me hard. Uh, I'm going to say it, then I'll tell you who said it after a few seconds. Leaders are always a reflection of the people they serve. The leaders that we pick are always the reflection of the people that they serve. True or false? Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? And think about your city, your town, that you live in. Are the people that represent that you say you voted in, whether you voted or not, or you voted to keep out, or you campaigned to get one person in and keep one person out, are these people a reflection of you? And now I'll tell you who said it. Bill Maher said it on his show. He said that on his show. And I thought it was an interesting statement, and I had to think um, long and hard about that. I'm not going to tell you my answer till if you all chime in on, let me know some of your answers, if you all do. And we're still trying to fix this problem that Ernest is having. I don't know if y'all can hear Cam in the background playing. He's playing really hard. Uh, so if that's the case, Karen, Derek, or whoever else is on, let me know. Do you think that is that the case? Is that do you think that's the false? We have one false. Derek says no. I think the question should be, how many leaders uh, mid represent themselves? How many leaders represent themselves? How many leaders? Is that mid or might represent themselves? Do we think that? Okay. Do you think the leaders represent themselves once they get in? Do they go in office or misrepresent themselves? I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm getting old, Derek. Misrepresent themselves. That's a good question. Machiavelli. How many of us have leaders that we think have fooled us, or they worked us good enough to um, well, Ernest is back up. Let's see. Ernest is up. We'll let him get straight. They worked us good enough to where we believe the things that they said, and then poof, puff, pow, presto, changeo, they changed on us, right? So that is the question, and I would agree with you, Derek, with that. Um, how many people But then another part is, why don't we hold them accountable? Right? Why don't we hold them accountable? Hey, Ernest.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Ernest
Had a
is
little
back with you
technical
all.
difficulties.
He saved you all from just dealing with me.
I don't
um,
know. I don't know if it's a
well,
save or
so
what.
what we're talking about, Ernest, is Bill Maher said on the show today um, that um, leaders are always a representation of the people they serve. And so I'm asking the listening audience, is that the case? And if so, why? Because I wasn't going to elaborate on the sheriff's race. You know, I said there's one person that's running the constable race, and one person only that's running this constable race, and we all know who that is. Chloe is your boy. So there's not a whole lot else I can
Chloe is your boy.
call everybody you know that lives in those areas I mentioned to you all. I mean, call them, pick up the phone. Do not, do not, do not send them a text. Pick up the phone and call them. Make it personal. Let's make this personal because we're going to do some things when we're the constable. When I'm constable, you're constable. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
When I'm
you
constable, you constable.
you've heard that before. I'm being funny, but no, I'm being truthful about that though too, because there's a lot of things that we're going to do to spin off from some of the stuff we've already been doing. And you and I talked about this, Ernest, that people seem to do more things when you have a title behind you for some reason.
Right.
Right. They seem to follow you if you say judge this or chief that or mayor this or attorney that. That's why a lot of attorneys begin their name with attorney so and so, right? Or doctor so and so, because it's pastor so and so. So instead of just their actual name. So but anyway, so what we're gonna do, let's back up since Ernest is here now. Let's back up and let's talk about. And I'm gonna say some stuff, but I'm not gonna say much stuff. So,
Okay, we're gonna
but
see how that go.
I'm not gonna say much. Watch. So we're gonna talk about the sheriff's race for just a little bit because we got some other stuff to cover that's way more important than the sheriff's race. That I need you all to see. I got a little video I want you guys to see, and I got some questions because I need us to answer these questions, man. And what we're gonna do? I'm tired, like I said, I'm sick of y'all watching us. We're gonna get. I'm tired of watching. We're gonna have to be doing something in a minute now. You can't say you didn't know. So, Mr. Perry, you saw the last sheriff's debate. You saw the last two sheriff's debates.
Right.
What did you think? I'm not gonna ask you who you're gonna support yet, but don't let me forget. What did you think of the debates? 1 to 10, what's your overall score?
That's gonna be hard to score. How you ranking from something that we didn't know, or finding out something new about the candidates, or just an overall viewpoint of the candidates? I think there's different categories that we would have to score those debates in, because for the most of us, we knew most of the candidates. What I was looking for in the debate, some originality, something new that I hadn't heard before, and a little empathy or compassion, or a little more zeal for the county, the love for the county, and want to do it different. And I didn't get it. So in large, for that purpose, I think the debate wasn't well, because to me it seems like it was personal. It wasn't about the county. It was about the individual. That's how it came off to me. And I looked at it very, very closely, and I listened closely to the answers, that were asked, and to the question that was asked, and to the way uh, that they were answered. Um, so categorically, uh, debate it didn't change my mind. It didn't make me waver one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the question
Mm-hmm.
you was asking, but overall, some of the answers made me kind of question my my decision, if I will, if that's okay
Mm-hmm.
to say. So, and I may look at it a different from the other people or from our viewers. I may look at it because I'm law enforcement. That's all I know. I've been law enforcement uh, all my, I guess most of my adult life. So I may look at it a different way because, uh, I came straight out of college and went into law enforcement, and now I'm 52 years
Mm-hmm.
old. So they let you know that's how I kind of judge my decision, and I may look at it a little different. You all, if you're not in law enforcement, you all are looking for uh, uh, answers, or looking for someone who can come and you feel comfortable letting them take the helm and run this county and get this county under control. So I don't know, Claude. I said that to probably say nothing, but I said all of that probably just to say nothing. But um, I found out a lot about the debate. I did. I found out a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Um,
So
so
did you find, but you
where we
never,
need to start?
they never, nobody, no one ever made you change the pick that you had, even that your pick may have been a little just kind of blasé as well. Is that what you're saying? Just kind of
Right,
didn't
right,
stand out.
right, right. He
And
didn't
I
knock it
will
out the
say,
box. He had an opportunity to knock it out the box or knock it out, hit a home run, and he missed that
mhm.
opportunity. So
In everyone's defense, as someone who's been on that stage with all the people and the hoopla and the blah blah, you can vapor lock or your mind can just kind of go blank on you because your mind is going 1,000 miles a minute. You're trying to remember what to say, how to say, what not to say, what you talked about with your team, how to sit. I had to sit up because I would slump a lot, and so this is all going on in your mind when we're sitting back going. Now I'm sitting back going, say this, don't say that. Don't do this, don't do. And so it looks easy, and it may even look like they're comfortable. They may be comfortable on the outside, but a lot of the candidates' hearts are beating a mile a minute. And you start vapor locking because you can't get that oxygen to your brain, and you just can't really think like you should think. And like you said, some of it did seem to be a lot personal, uh,
mhm.
and which can turn people off. Of which I didn't see when I ran. That personal stuff turns people off as opposed to brings people to you. It'll bring a certain type of person to you, but those
Right.
people that want to hear drama and mess. But yeah. So, what were some of the highlights of the debates that you saw? Give me some of the highlights and give me. I know your low light, but give me some of the highlights and we'll talk about your low light.
Well, the high point is if everybody, if you remember, if you watch the debate, um, all of them was on the same accord when it come to the jail and the Hines County supervisors. The
Mm-hmm.
jail and the Hines County supervisor, and I guess they go one in hand, if you will. So
Mm-hmm.
all of them was under the consensus that there is a problem. They admitted openly there
Mm-hmm.
was a problem with the jail, uh,
Mm-hmm.
where be it infrastructure of the jail, the construction of the jail, or just
Mm-hmm.
downright uh, underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
Not to even count the consent decree, but they're all of them was under consensus that if they handle the jail problem, that may alleviate some of the crime problem by way of
Mm-hmm.
people who have the fear of going to jail. Now, the criminals don't have the fear of going to jail, and that may work, but they all was under the same uh, mindset, and I thought that was quite interesting to get that many to agree about the same
Right.
thing. So therefore, there
Right.
must be a problem there. So I thought that was one of the high
The
points that I
highlights.
noted. Huh?
Any other high points?
Um,
From it could be from an individual candidate.
uh, hmm. Not really. Not really. I like I say, all of them, uh, with the exception of maybe two, had great compassion for the county. Uh, One high point I noted about Mr. Seals, Leon Seals, one of the candidates, that he wanted to be completely transparent. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how possible that is. One, and then you can maybe you can tell me, you've been in certain positions of administrative position. Some things you cannot share, but for the most, he feel like being absolutely transparent will
Mm-hmm.
alleviate some of the surprises, if you will. So I thought that was rather interesting. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can tell me about being transparent uh, when it comes to that. But and I know you work undercover too, so that may be a little twofold. And I worked undercover, so some things you can't share everything with the community. But when it comes to um, uh, I finna say budget, but that was one of the low points that I noticed within
Mm-hmm.
in the campaign, that nobody really knew anything about budget.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really knew anything about budgeting, or running a $30 million. Is it $30 million, $33 million?
They kept going back and forth with the it was kind
Right,
of
right,
irritating.
right.
Yeah.
So
Between that and
nobody
the
really was
uniform thing, yeah.
familiar enough to explain, when it comes to budgeting, what they would do and how they would, uh, I guess, spend money.
Right.
They were saying some of the things that they want to do, uh,
Right.
but we all got a wish list. So and maybe I looked in it a little too deep. I don't know if you're looking for that type of answer, but I don't know.
So what? Now let's switch gears. Give me your low light. You can give me one. You can give me two. Don't go overboard. So if you got a whole bunch, we're not going. We don't want to be
The biggest,
complaining to
and
you.
then we talked about it, and so it won't be a surprise to you. I just want the audience to
Yeah.
realize our viewpoint as whatever you want to call those activists, community leaders, or just concerned citizens.
Right.
My biggest thing was when the young lady asked the question about them supporting, or who would they support on that stage if they didn't um, win share.
Right.
And of course, if you saw it, the answer was absolutely horrific. Um,
Except for one
Nobody
person.
actually. One person said, called a name particularly.
Right.
So
Cheryl Matore
that was Cheryl
called
Motori,
Brandon Caston's
Brandon
name.
Caston,
She did
and
because they asked her first.
they asked her first. So she, maybe out of mere honesty, that's what she did. But
Right.
uh, uh, then it went downhill after
It
that.
went bad.
It got
It
bad
got
after that.
bad.
And I thought to myself, as a law enforcement, as a lover of Hinds County, as a lover of Jackson, I thought to myself, that is one of the most easiest questions a leader, if you will, mind you now, a leader can answer. I thought that was one of the most easiest questions to answer. If you were not self-centered, if your concern was about Hinds County. I think, and I'm not saying that this wasn't this they're not their concern, but I'm just speaking in tone in reference to the question asked. All of those that's on the stage had law enforcement background, and all of them I could imagine had some type of quality. So a leader could pick out that quality, but between all of them, if you didn't have personal interest, you could set that aside for the good of Hinds County and say, okay, well, I would choose him for XYZ, her for XYZ, him for this, to do this, and we can make this city grow. But I think it was a bunch of dagger throwing shots, and one didn't want to give the other one the edge. But I think it was a great question. I'm glad it was asked. That let me see the individuals there, and kind of let me kind of determine who we are dealing with. Claude, I must say, with your campaign with the constables, I hadn't seen any negativity, no dagger throwing. Matter of fact, I have seen a commercial or a Facebook post where you are with your candidate, he's holding your card and you holding his. I don't think these campaigns need to create enemies in the law enforcement field, because we are no better than the people out there in the streets. So we are fighting and fussing among each other. We can't take it our expertise and help one another. I think we're fighting a losing battle. I can bring value. This is me talking. I can bring value to anybody. And as a leader, I think a leader needs to pick out value of people and bring that value out of people. That's what leaders do. If you're a leader, you can set away your personal opinion for the good for the greater good, and pick out quality within those individuals that can help. Now, if they refuse to come along, that's a whole nother issue. But at least you give them an opportunity to, okay, you want to help? I need you. I think you'll do good as my PR person. I think you'll do good as my, I think you'll run the jail great, because I heard the qualities you say about what you'll do at the jail. I think you'll run the warrants division wonderful. I think you'll be my community person. Pick and choose leaders, because all of them obviously felt like they was qualified to run for sheriff. So therefore, each one of them have different qualities. And as a leader, I think you need to be able to pull those qualities out of people. That's where it went downhill for me, because nobody recognized game. You know how you say game recognized game?
Game recognized game, right.
Nobody recognized game.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Game. And I say game, I'm talking about nobody recognized talent or qualities within each other on that whole stage. If nobody recognized qualities of each other, nobody needs to have been on that stage.
Wow.
If one person,
because they're going to have people that work for them, that are going to be worse than some of those people on the stage. So what you going to do with those people?
Right. And if you didn't recognize it, I know, some of them may have some flaws, some of them may have some disappointments, some may have some mistakes or what have you. But as a leader, I think I could take anybody on that stage and I can work for them and bring value to anybody on that stage. Also, as a leader, I think I can take everybody on that stage and choose their value to me.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel personally. So that's where it went downhill. And if I had an opportunity to talk to the candidates, that was what I would tell them. Is what I would tell them.
The drama award and the comedy award goes to.
I must say, and I'm not, and I don't talk about him because he has some qualities, and obviously he's running a good race. But Marshawn Chrysler had some answers that and I wouldn't even call it answers. He had some responses that it was only drama. It was only for the TV, for the cameras, because he's gonna say he said a couple times, "I'm not going to do this," and then he turn around and does it. And I think Marshawn, he I don't know. Um, I'm trying not to, I'm learning. I'm learning, Claude. I'm in church. I'm learning.
Let me stop
Don't
you. Let me
talk
stop
about
you.
me.
Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
I didn't know you were gonna say that. I thought you were gonna say somebody else because I said drama, but I thought you were gonna mention somebody else. So let's go to the comedy because somebody was cracking me up, and he should have lightened the mood a lot with how he was just being just funny, even to I kind of even poking fun at himself. You can't you can't fault the guy when the guy even poke fun at himself. That's a good, I think, a good way to be if you're going to be a comedian. Don't just crack jokes on everybody else. Crack jokes on yourself too, and make light of your own bad situations. And make
Right.
folks
Right.
laugh. So I don't mind saying that person's name. For me, it was Spooner. Spooner had me just dying. And if you don't know Richard Spooner, he is hilarious. He comes off as a kind of a butthole, but when I tell you he is hilarious, he's just funny. He's just funny. He's just funny. You just gotta love him because he's gonna say some of the craziest things. He and I were on SWAT together, and like your heart could be beating a mile a minute. The situation you're going to is bad, and hear this nut say some of the most wackiest stuff in the back of that SWAT truck, and you're like, "What are you talking about? We fixing to go die. We all gonna die. What are you talking about?" So,
Yeah.
um, but he got my award for the comedy.
The
And
comedy.
yeah, and he had some good answers too.
Well, when if it's drama, if you want to say drama, I don't know if you want to call it drama or he had facts or if you
But we don't have to go. But we don't have to go back to that. We can get away. We don't
well,
have to go
yeah,
back to that.
yeah, yeah. I guess you don't, but the
I
personal
want
attacks
right.
because the vendettas,
Yeah.
like I see Brother Kendrick said there was some personal vendettas,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was shown. It was shown in
Yeah.
both. I mean, it was name calling literally
Yeah.
in one of the debates. In the first debate that I saw, it was literally open name calling. So, and I think that's not good.
That's not
Uh,
good.
that's not good. That's not good for the debate. That's not good for people watching. I mean, you may have some people who like that in certain areas, but that's really not good
Yeah.
for your character. So, and in light of all of that, um, um, it made it hard, but it did make you see that a change need to come. Something very, very drastic needs to happen. Uh, for one, look how many running.
Yeah.
That letting you know that there's a problem when you have that many
Right.
candidates.
But
Uh,
and since you said a change needs to come, and right before you came on, I did repeat the question when you came on. Uh, Bill Maher said, I don't know where he got it from. He may have repeated it from someone. I think he did. Leaders are the reflection of the people, are a reflection of the people that vote them in.
mhm.
So what what are we looking at here as far as our reflection? What are we looking at? What are we trying to say about the county and the state? Because Hines County can really, really, really influence the rest of the state. So what are we gonna say come November the 2nd? Are we gonna say more money, more signs? Are we gonna say best looks? Are we gonna say more best spoken, best plan? What are we gonna say as voters in Hines County? What are we gonna say? Or are we just gonna say, "Oh, I know him." I'm trying to get people away from "I know you." If you know me, just because you know me, don't vote for me because you know me. I've said that, and y'all told me don't say that back when I was running for sheriff. But I believe that globally, not just for me. I said that don't vote for me just because you know me.
Know
Vote for
of
me,
you. Just
right?
say
No,
know
know
of you.
of
Don't say
you,
know you
right?
because
No,
you say
know of
no.
me.
Yeah.
But if you know I'm gonna do a good job, if you pretty sure by looking at my history, I'm gonna do a good job or a better job than these candidates, then sure vote for me. But I'm not saying don't vote for me. I'm saying don't vote for anybody that just because you know of them. That's what I mean by that. That's what I mean by that.
Right.
So y'all jumped me when I said that 2 years ago, 2.5
Right.
years ago.
Right.
Um,
Right. Because I know
and
you. That's why I would vote for you, because I know you. A
right,
lot of people might not know you. So I would vote for you because
right,
I know you. But just because Uncle Joe know you and he said that won't be, that's not a good reason. Not alone to vote. Now you
right,
might think a lot of Uncle Joe, and that'll be good too. But
right.
just because, I seen this guy and I seen his picture or what have you, he a nice guy. I think you should do your homework and look at the qualification.
All of
But
us are. Go ahead, but
but
that was a big but too.
my dad always say, anytime somebody say but, look out for something behind it. I ain't gonna say what you see
Here it
behind it,
comes.
but anyway.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here it comes. But well, also um, with this uh, campaign, or with this race, the sheriff race, um, you have some people, you have some very good resumes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You
So,
do.
doing your
You have
homework
some very good resumes.
when it comes to resumes, that may not be uh, fair. Because you have some very, very good resumes.
Yeah.
The only difference is um, you have seen most of the work history of those candidates. They've
I
been
got you.
in the job a while. Think about it. And we are still here talking
Hmm.
about crime and what you have done for me. So they've been around a while, just what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So my thing is, when you try something new. That's all I'm saying. If it don't work, well, we've been there before. And my dad always said one thing, uh, excuse me, I'm sorry. One thing we have learned from history is we haven't learned from history, because we always seem to go do the same thing over and over thing again. So if it's one thing we learn from history, we don't learn from history. So let's try something different. That's my thing.
Yeah, bro, Derek says you too real, but you trying. See what Kendrick says. If a cake doesn't turn out right the first time, maybe it's time to change the recipe.
That's what I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say right there.
There you go. Very
I
good,
want to be
Maurice. Very
real,
good.
but I definitely want to be real, and I'm gonna keep on trying. But I want to be real. And I guess I'm wishful thinking. I'm wishful thinking. So thank you. But I think it can happen. I think we can find that person with a little help. I think it's something that all of us as citizens gonna have to step up and help and do our part. We just can't look for this savior to save the
Mm,
world. We all gonna have to step up and assist, bring value to people, uh, bring value to people. Stop talking and bringing people down. One particular answer was whoever the county, whoever the citizen of Hinds County elect, that's your sheriff, which is so true. And we need to get behind and rally behind whoever is chosen to lead
hmm.
this county for the next 2 years, for the next 1.5, however much longer we have on this term. I do think as citizens, we need to rally regardless. Regardless, you cannot make a sound, a bona fide, justified, sound judgment until you actually know all the facts.
Right.
So if we get in there and find out, look, I tried to help him, I did this, he just couldn't get it, then you may be time to move on. But I do think we all, regardless of who it is, I promise you, regardless of who it is, and that goes for you and I too, particularly, Juan, because we know we are in law enforcement. We created this podcast simply because we wanted people to hear some of the ideas that our audience have and some of the ideas that we have. So whoever the sheriff be, I think we need to rally behind that individual 100%. 100%. I do.
KJ writes that he agrees with you. The top 5 candidates, in my eyes, he says, have great resumes. This sheriff race is going to come down to popularity contest. I'm sorry.
And that's what we are.
Who's the most well known? Who's the most has the most name notoriety? Who's been around the longest? Who's the most well known in the most populated voting areas is key, right? That's key. If you've been not just well known, but in certain areas, certain circles where people actually go vote.
Yeah.
And we go ahead.
On a lighter note, Juan, I found out something in the last debate that I didn't know, and I'm almost embarrassed. Being a 25 plus veteran on police officer, I didn't know there was a Hall of Fame. I didn't. I'm sorry. If anybody else knew that, I'm sorry.
KJ, Kendrick, Derek, Roy, anybody else on here that's law enforcement, did y'all know about a Police Officer Hall of Fame?
I didn't know.
I did not know. And I thought I knew everything about police, and apparently I didn't. But me and Ernest, we had some good jokes we talked about with each other. I'm not gonna say it. But if you guys knew of maybe it's just us. So Derek says no. Maurice said no. I didn't know. I don't even know how you get in it.
I don't know neither.
I just know.
Do you get a jacket? A blue jacket? I want the blue jacket because I think I deserve the blue jacket.
That was funny. They were going back and forth about who got voted in the most times. I'm like, what?
Maybe, 3-time induct.
Maybe anyway. If one of them's watching, they'll come on and tell us about it.
Yeah, tell us what.
You welcome to come on. I'll send you the link.
Such a honorary.
I'm kind of salty. I know a couple of y'all on KJ for sure, Mr. Net Team, back in the 90s. As much as he and but Melvin Williams used to get awards for the doggone best officer God ever made in the universe, and I had to go pick up their trophies. They thinking I'm at events, and they're thinking I'm Melvin, and I'm picking up trophies for other people. It was like in 96, 97. I'm like, no, I'm not Superman yet. I'm Robin. I ain't Batman yet. But and so yeah, I didn't know either. Thanks to Keitha. He said, a great show, guys. Yeah, we didn't know, but maybe that's something we'll all aspire to get to. I'm not gonna say what I said, but it was funny. 5-time world heavyweight champion.
That's right. That's Woo. Right. I found that out in the last debate. I thought that was very informing. Thank you, candidates, for that. Now we know. If you didn't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, Claude, I must go back to your campaign, the Constable campaign. Mm-hmm. I know you've been out there working hard. I know you've been out there grinding, almost
tired, man.
Selling yourself, if you will, for light of a better word. And
I've been on the street corner. I can say this now. We can say this now because we try not to let this cat out the bag. So some of the other candidates would do it, but human billboarding is when you stand on the corner and you hold up a sign, one of your yard signs, and um, you literally stand on the corner for hours and you just yelling your name. And me, I have my big sign with my face on the back of the on my trailer, and that I pull around with my Tahoe, and I pull it as close to me as possible up to a corner. And I point at me and point at the sign with my face on it, point at me, and people cannot believe, they are blown away that I am standing there, and they're looking at me like, "That's you." Now some of them roll down the window and will say, "Is that you?" Ask me, "Is that you?" And they'll look, they go, give me the thumbs up, and they say, "I'm gonna vote for you. I'm gonna vote for you. I'm gonna tell my friends just because I see you out here." In every corner I went to, and I went to a lot uh, by myself. And just yesterday, I went to my first corner with somebody. I had some people with me. Uh, Maurice did blow me a couple of days ago. I guess Maurice, I see so many people, it's just like a blur, which is a good thing, I guess. But believe it or not, for somebody with my personality, that actually makes me happy to be out there. After about, it's kind of embarrassing. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, the first 5 or 10 minutes takes me a little bit. Each time I got to get warmed up, or turn on, listen to my music, listen to mint condition, and my gym workout music, and my hustling music, and on my grind music, and just I'm waving, I'm pointing. I do so much waving and pointing. Sometimes I turn to my own sign and wave at it and point it because I'm just getting so confused. I do it so much. I point at my head, point at the sign, point at my head, point at the sign, and I've done that. I can't tell you how, at least, man, it got to be 10,000 times. Just pointing. So, but that is, in my opinion, other than going door to door, is the most sincerest part of campaigning. Um, just going because you're interacting and you're looking. I'm looking at your face. What I don't like is tinted windows because I can't see your face. I am literally looking at you right in your face, and I'm pointing at me. And if you don't make a and Dekeitha mentioned this to me, if you don't move, I'm gonna stare at you and give you a thumbs up. I'm gonna go thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm gonna go, you don't know. Yeah, and usually they'll roll down the window and say, "I can't vote here," or "I don't know." One of the other candidates is my friend. I'm like, "Cool, that's fine." Um, uh, told me, he yells at him, "Hey, what you frowning for? Smile. It's a beautiful day," which is a good thing to do. You got to be hyped up when you're out there doing that kind of stuff. In the rain, I was in the rain, in the cold. I'm in the country, on the country road. They looking at me like, "Why is he out here?" and, and way out here, and in the cold, in the rain.
Right.
But I think it's how bad you want it. But more importantly, I think it's how much you're willing to put yourself out there
Right.
so people can see you bare bones, right? Most people, even me, wouldn't expect to see me out on the street corner, you know. But, and I've said this to you, Ernest, and several people, that when Mike Espy ran against Cindy Hyde Smith, I looked up on at the corner of McDowell Road and Terry Road, and I said, "I see Mike Espy on election day waving at us. He's just waving," and he was doing human billboard. And I'm like, so I
Right.
thought, if Mike Espy, who's worked in Congress in Washington for Bill Clinton, can be doing that, surely little old me can suck it up, Buttercup, right?
Right. Right. And not only that, it's probably wonderful advertisement, a human billboard. It's probably wonderful. But I
Right.
think what I find it to be is the most humble act
It is.
of an individual that I have seen thus far. Uh, uh, and it's something, and that you shouldn't, you weren't doing it for that, but and I want to say that because another person should say how humble or how much
Mm.
humility that you have, and because of that, uh, do you know, I even question myself. You know how I feel about even going knock on doors.
Yep.
So
And I
to
didn't
get out
ask
there
you because
in
I
the
know you hate
cold,
doing it. Yeah.
to get out there in the cold and hold up a sign, you know, while people driving by, like, you know, almost equivalent to, you know, begging for money, you know, in my eyes, you know what I'm saying? Literally,
Yeah.
you know,
Begging for
think
votes.
about it now. You're begging for votes, mister. But anyway, but so it take a great, when you're doing it for that reason. Now, mind you, now I'm not talking about anybody. I don't want to make you know make it plain. I'm not talking about for the people that who's out there begging, because that's something they feel like they have to do to survive. You follow me? And you never know anybody's situation, so they may be out there to provide for their family. So I don't want to make light of that. What I do want to do is say that my hat's off to you for doing that, because of this is how important it is to you, and how much you know you want to be in this position and where you feel like you can make a true difference. Because we had some discussion about you even running for sheriff, and you know that was up. This is how important getting in a position, and we talked about it earlier today. Uh, just doing stuff, because, like you say, in reality, they don't know you or I from Jim, and what we have done. A lot of people don't know it
Right.
until you get in a position, and people are focusing on that position and see, you know, yeah, I remember that guy when he was constable. He did this. It's so many other things that you can do
Yes.
to try to enhance this county
Yeah.
in that position. And I
Yep.
think I even applied for a chief down in a small town, small community, just to get a position. I mean, the pay was terrible, but just to get a position to make a difference. Because you know you can't say you could do these things and never did them.
Right.
You know, so that's why I applied, to make a difference, to show people, look, I did this here.
Right.
If I was here, I could do this, and you could do it too. So I think that's very, very important. My hat's off to you. My hat's off to the whole group for running a sound campaign. Much respect to all of you. Of course, my vote goes to my boy. Chloe is my boy. My votes go to him, and so I encourage everybody else who's in District 5 to vote. Uh, they can vote for anybody they want to, long as it's one Chloe come Tuesday. Okay, so uh, 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 so that's my pitch, and I think I'm gonna leave it right there, Chloe, in reference to telling people who to vote for. I'm gonna leave it right there. I think I'm gonna leave it right there. Vote for Warren Chloe for Constable of District 5 come Tuesday.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Call your friends. Tell them.
Call your friends up.
Uh,
Please.
and it's only the beginning.
No.
I'm going to hold him accountable. We're going to continue this show. So if you have some things that we could do, and especially one as constable, you know, he may be able to go to some places and be in certain meetings that we was not privileged to get to just along in this format. So I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire probably more than anybody, simply because you know I know what he said personally, what things he want to do, and I know what he is capable of doing. So, uh, and I encourage all of you all to do that for all the candidates. I must say, good luck to all of the sheriff candidates. Um, come Tuesday, and again, I'm gonna say, whoever is elected, we need, as citizen of Hinds County, citizen of Jackson, citizen of Mississippi, we need to rally behind that person to make sure that they have all the encouragement and the support that they need to do what they say they're going to do or want to do. So we shouldn't just wait to the next election. We need to rally and support that person.
Okay, so now go ahead and tell us who you're supporting and why. You thought I forget. You thought I forget.
I told you I was gonna leave it. I told you I was gonna leave it right there. But I
And
will
why?
say,
And why?
I'm gonna rally behind any whoever wins. First of all, first and foremost.
You're gonna rally behind whoever wins. We got that. That sounds like one of them answers from like you was at that debate.
No, and I said it, and we have said it before. Uh, I want in a sheriff, and we have had all. I wanted somebody who hadn't really had the chance to get in and do what they say they could do, and do a good job. That I think I wanted somebody who had professionalism, experience, and so me personally. And I'm not telling anybody who to vote for because I'm not working for any campaign or anybody. You can vote your heart when you go behind that curtain and vote your heart. But for me, and I'm not apologetic about it, I'm supporting Leon Seals simply because we hadn't gave Leon a chance. He's somebody, he new blood, and I'm going to hold him accountable. And I leave it at that. Now, I do have a list, a categorical list now. If Leon doesn't make it, the next person, the next person, the next person. But I'm not even go there. But Leon Seals, simply because, you know, he the only one who hadn't really had his shot. So some of the answers he gave at the debate was a little questionable, but I like the fact that he was honest and want to be transparent. So that's not a endorsement per se. I'm not telling anybody who to vote for. That's my personal opinion. Okay. So, and I'm not gonna even question you because of you in the race, and you're gonna have to work with these individuals closely. So I don't even want to put you on the. I want to, but I'm not. I really want to, but since you put me out there, I'm not. Just out of fairness, and you've been keeping such a professional, and you and I seem to disagree quite often. So, and I really don't know your choice, especially after the last two debates. So we had talked about it. So, but I'm not gonna put you out there like that, Juan.
Well, I told him that at the beginning of the show that I wasn't going to, because it's an unspoken rule that if you're running, you know, it's bad practice to endorse somebody while you're running. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. And
but you're not running for sheriff, though. But anyway,
I'm not running for sheriff.
Not here, not there. I'm gonna leave that alone.
But I'm gonna have to work with the sheriff.
You are. That's what I said. You are gonna have to work with them, and hopefully,
and the
board
of supervisors. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. We need to rally behind that person.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, and I think somebody said it earlier, it seemed like that whole cast crew will hold certain vendettas. Look like to me. So I hope the fact that, you know, I'm saying Leon Seals' name doesn't create any vendettas against me. I like some more candidates up there. I really, really, really do. Matter of fact, I have helped some other candidates up there before. And so I'll rally behind either. Only reason I'm doing Leon because he's new. And I think he needs his chance. That's the only reason. There's some more that will make some wonderful.
Is that the only reason? This is not a loaded question, but is there anything in his background, anything that you
Right. Well, he got.
feel
I mean, he
about
got
him?
a extensive background. I like his. I like his background. He's a family man. He was a spiritual man,
Okay.
and he has been in one of the most professional organization there is. Not because of the great football player, but I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about if anybody ever played football, if anybody ever played any type of organized sports, when you reach a certain professionalism, it's instilled within you forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's instilled within you forever, and you're gonna bring that into the fold. You are
Mm-hmm.
gonna bring that into your administration, the professionalism, and I think that's what Hines allowed them to.
I know. There we go.
But anyway, I think that's what he's gonna bring, and I think that's the newness that we need, that Hines County needs, that professionalism. I don't know. The NFL owns Sundays. You know, they always said that. So I think you can't get any professional than that. If I don't even know if anybody even had an opportunity to even uh, just peep into the administrative part of the NFL. I had the opportunity to do that. So I don't know if anybody else had, but it is totally professional. And you have to be knowledgeable of your craft. You have to know how many pimples on a football on a professional NFL football, Sunday football, before you be able to move to the next step. I mean, how many laces is on the ball and all of that. So it
Right.
gets deep. And I just hope he bring that type of professionalism into the Hines County Sheriff Department if he's elected. That's all.
Well, that's a good statement. I like that. Um, Good rationale, and hopefully he prepared himself and is still preparing himself for this last run. Your number one and number two and number three people that you chose, and Cam is on the camera now, y'all. You went mute on me. You mute.
Yeah, I was saying my grandson just came in the room too.
Which one? Boochie Lexi, baby?
Boochie Lexa,
Man,
baby.
he be on 20. He ain't on 10. He's on 20. He kills me. He fixed to do something any second.
All the time.
So, again,
Say hey.
you all, we appreciate you. We love
Say
you.
bye-bye.
Thank you for coming on,
Say hey.
coming on the air. And don't
Hey,
forget,
y'all.
spread the word. We need y'all to go out and vote. Tell people, call people up. I'm asking all of my folks to call. Thank you, sir. Call somebody. Tell them to vote, vote, vote. Number one, make sure you vote. And number two, make sure you vote for me.
That's
Make
right.
sure you vote. And make sure you vote for me.
Yeah, you can vote for any sheriff person you want, but the constable, please vote for Juan Clark.
Vote for Clark because Clark is your boy.
Clark is your boy.
Clark is your boy. And if I haven't proven it to you in all of these years, then I don't know what else I need to do. 1% sales tax, police union president, standing up for the officers who needs to be stood up for, standing up for the people, put my life on the line in the middle of the night, in the middle of the morning, just on and on and on and on, even being in the military, serving my country, that I seldom talk about, by the way. But so if I haven't proven it to you, then call me up and let me know what else I need to do. I got a little blood left. I think I can get you. And if that don't work, well, maybe we can have a beer together or something. And like Obama and Bill Clinton, make you see the light. I don't know. But again, my biggest thing I need folks to do is, I like money. I love to have your money, but I'd rather have you vote Tuesday and also call somebody that you know in my district. That's the most important thing to me right now. And we're gonna do some things. We're
What
gonna make it
what
happen.
is District
Irons
5?
County
Give me
District
District
5.
5 again, Clark.
District 5 is um all of Terry, the half of Utica, cut that out. Half of Utica, which would be the western side of Utica, the eastern side of Utica. I'm sorry. Southern Hines County, Drago Road, Chapel Hill Road, Wendell Road area. Then go down Terry Road in Byram. Start from Byram, go all the way down Terry Road back towards Jackson on the left and the right side. I've got that probably a few blocks out, I guess, so to speak. It doesn't go too deep off of Terry Road. Byram Estates, Eagles Nest in Byram, Old Byram, Savannah Street area going on down Terry Road, McDowell Road, Terry Road area, Alta Woods, Jackson State area, Battlefield, Washington Edition, downtown. I have all of downtown, and finally Lanier, Maple Street, Wood Street, our old stomping grounds back in Precinct 3, and Martin Luther King, but mainly on the Lanier Street side, on the Lanier School side. And then the Provine area, Harriet Street, and Robinson Road,
Arbor Vista.
Prentice, Arbor Vista, that square. Ellis to Robinson to back to Lynch to Prentice, that big square. And like I said, Washington Edition. So
Okay.
it's an
All right.
interesting area.
And the supervisor in that district is who?
Is Bob McGowan. That's the supervisor.
Bob McGowan. So if you voted for Bob McGowan,
or if he's your supervisor, you didn't vote for him.
Or is he your supervisor? Yeah. That's the district you live in. That
Yeah.
District 5.
So again, we thank you. God bless you. We didn't get to what we talked about, what I listed. We're going to talk about the music industry, beats and lyrics and violence, and how that influences our youth. That's actually that needs to be a whole show, because that's serious. It's some stuff. That's some stuff. And we couldn't talk about that in 30 minutes or 20 minutes. So, yep. So again, God bless you. See you this Tuesday, November the 2nd, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. is your voting time. If you have any questions, you can contact me via my cell phone, 601-720-7119, 601-720-7119. Don't be texting me nothing crazy. Call me in the middle of the night breathing on my phone, because I'm going to find you. And and yeah, share my commercial here. And that's on it's a little like 30-second commercial that's on Facebook. And
that's right.
I can show it to you now, actually. And then we're gonna go. So we're gonna sign out with this commercial. How about that, Perry?
That's good. That'll be good. That'll be good. We'll see you next Sunday, Constable Clark.
Yes, sir. As Cameron would say, vote for Warren Clark. Here we go. Let's see. This must be a family show, because we got all kind of family stuff going on. Here we go. Juan Cloy for Constable. With over 26 years in law enforcement, 17 years with JPD, 10 years with the FBI, and 3 years as an assistant chief, Cloy is your boy for Constable. My community work proves that I am dedicated to improving this county at all costs. Cloy is your boy for Constable. So on November 2nd, let's do this, Hines County in District 5, paid for by the Cloy for Constable campaign. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And that is on Facebook as well. So if you're on Facebook, you can get it and share it. Go to my page, get it and share. And yeah, let's make it a good day. Make it a good Tuesday. All right. Say bye, Cameron. All right, Mr. Perry.
We'll
Thank you
see you
all.
later, man. Good
We'll
luck.
sign out. God bless.
God bless.
All right. Good night.